Open mic from the edge. Featured artist.
I believe that magic is art.
I believe that magic is art.
I believe that magic is art. My creationism is in the infinite waiting, permutations, in this imaginative magic of craft and creativity. We wield our wonder and wounds artfully, magpies who magnify magnificence. We're mediums of our mediums, large issues, small miracles, all called forth and culled for occult callings.
Creating always seems to me to be a mildly or greatly, depending on the experience, but sort of mystical experience where you're taking things that you may not have ever associated before and then put them through the funnel of some craft, some art form, in order to make it something imbued with you and your sensibilities as well.
Turning trauma and talents into tapestries, security blanket hero capes, and magic red carpets of visionary viscera on a loom of gloomy doom looming. These isolated singularities, the loving and lonely, the solitary, belonging to the longing, but rarely longing to belong.
You know, for me it's a lot about what am I going through, or what are people around me going through that maybe there's something to be said in a new way about that experience. Maybe I can communicate something about that experience in a way that I've never thought of before. And if I've never thought of it before, but I have felt it before, then hopefully that's like strikes the perfect sort of sweet spot, convergence point of innovative and yet deeply impacting and familiar in its universality, which is all where the AllOne thing comes from. And that art, whether that be music, writing, sculpture, or any other form,
music,
writing, magic,
and
sculpture,
or any other
music,
form
writing,
is literally
sculpture, or any
literally
literally magic. I think art in a lot of ways, and pursuing art and writing all these years has, like, if anything, had me, quadruple down on the feeling that there's something deeply human and connective that transcends every other surface and cultural experience and whatnot, no matter how much we're informed by things. And so I think always trying to get to that crux, axiomatic truth of what it is to be alive and to be consciously aware and to be something capable of suffering and to create ecstasy, I think that's a lot of what the artistic experience has been for me ever since then. And communicating that directly with people and getting the performance bug and going and finding communities in these, caffeinated watering holes of cafes and different and later bars, that just kind of became my lifeblood. And there are few more, and there's since have been few more important experiences to me than the elysium of community, especially among artists and deeply feeling people who are just searching their inner selves and trying to connect with other people over these moments and these creative outpourings.
Sleepless daydreamers, mystics, aiding us in the navigating the mist of our missteps and mistakes, red, wide-eyed, well-read observers.
Yeah, reading always seemed to me to be obsessive and beautiful kind of engine for escape, but also for understanding the world I was inhabiting. Or if I didn't understand the work I was reading, it may have broadened my understanding of the world or myself and others. And then, the flip side of that, once you experience the magic of reading, is that comes from someplace, and that someplace is writing that other people do. And then so writing just became this exercise in being able to achieve that or make those experiences myself and be able to share them with other people.
Artists operate as oracles, especially in this ordinary era, forever finding awareness widening power in the panacea of potential.
And improvisation's always been a big part of my love of performance with freestyle rapping and even just spoken word. Sometimes I'll just go and talk and do that, or I've done a couple comedy sets where they were pretty fully improv, and that kind of being on the tightrope and being dared to fall is an exhilarating and often just kind of like it allows the things to just come out and doesn't let you deliberate so long you never do anything. So I think that aspect of it is important too, and being okay with failing and making mistakes is super, super important. And if you're not, I don't think you'll achieve very much or make very much. Like, you have to fall on your face.
Touring the torrential, free associative freefall, falling in love with improv for improving us and proving to take us under its winging it, inspiration, pinning us, imprinting and impressing, impinging on our whinging, integrity, always winning. Winding us up makes us go, Excelsior! Knowing the sky isn't the limit. Hell, this atmosphere isn't even the only thing should we conjure new concepts and surrealities, big bangs, brew. I mean, we're an angsty day from axioms bursting truth to universes in the script of our short fuse, long view versatility.
But the newest thing in the last 2 years has been writing with this typewriter and doing these improvisational poems on it, because the typewriter is this sort of stenographer for the exact moment in the stream of consciousness with no going back, and sort of a perfectly printed record of where you were at in the moment. And putting myself on the spot with passerby at an event or something kind of forces me to kind of funnel everything from my interaction with this person to what I might feel or know and can intuit about this person, and be a conduit for both of our shared experiences, put that through my craft, and hopefully in the moment make something decent that they can walk away with. Art is like magic. The science
like
manipulating
the science
symbols,
manipulating
art
words,
like magic,
or
images,
or
and
images.
to achieve
Magic,
changes
the
in
science
consciousness.
of manipulating words.
We Ouija wagers with wild muses are made and make and are unmade by music, jarred by revelation, jarring lightning to brighten days, drawing venom from toxic traits, mixing elixirs from eurekas, reconstructed, lassoing the unthinkable in thought bubbles, and tinkering until tinctures are configured with 26 figures. My world was altered and authored bigger.
I feel very empathic toward other people, and I think I always have. And so, wanting to communicate with people, wanting to hear what they are doing and what they have to say through their art, and then to share my own, that's kind of always, when I discovered that, I think it was maybe I was in probably 10th grade, it's 2004 for me, and I was part of a poetry unit in English class, and I went and I found a local Long Island poetry reading in an old art museum, and I went to the reading and I read a poem, and I was the only person that was under 60 there, and I read a poem and my hands are shaking and my voice is shaking and I'm rushing through it, but a woman who, there was maybe half a century between us in age, she came up to me and took the time to tell me that my poem about, insecurity and self-consciousness resonated with her. And And at that moment, I think I caught the bug because it felt so deeply human, and that felt magic, and that felt both cathartic and deeply rewarding to realize that something that I could write that felt personal and felt like its own creative and emotional process in an isolated time could connect with someone else who I may otherwise have assumed to have so little to do with them, or that I couldn't possibly relate to their internal experience.
Chasms open and maws of injuries sealed like fate. Combing through comatose states of shock, empathy has been a balm, a calming conduit, bottled wattage to light the path home when the notion of sanctuary abandoned me. And if that ain't magic, nothing is. If that ain't magic, nothing is.
I believe that magic is art, and that art, whether that be music, writing, sculpture, or any other form, is literally magic. Art is, like magic, the science of manipulating symbols, words, or images to achieve changes in consciousness. To achieve changes in consciousness. To achieve changes in